How's it going, guys? Sean here, back with another video. Today, super excited because it'll be my first attempt to, well, not my first attempt, my first time heading over to Profusion in downtown Toronto. Oh yeah, and did I mention I'm gonna be vlogging in public, which is something I hate doing and despise doing, and it took me literally an hour and a half just to get out of this car to start filming in this parking lot. Yeah, no, it didn't take that long. It took about half hour before I got out of the car and started the camera, but an hour and a half was an over-exaggeration. Instead, as you can see, I'm in the safety of my own home because clearly being around people who vlog in front of people still makes me uncomfortable, so I didn't do it. So yeah, we are in the safety of my own home here, and I'm gonna be talking to you about my experience at Profusion 2024. So, let's go. First things first, just being able to be there and see the plethora of camera gear, filmmaking gear, as well as just YouTubers, which I'll mention who I did see there, was very eye-opening. It was almost like a stimulation overload because of just everything that I was surrounded by was just things I love, just gear in itself and being in that environment. But all the brands were there that you'd expect to be there, such as Sony, Nikon, Canon, Fuji, DJI, Leica, Red, Panasonic, OM Systems, for the camera companies, because there's a lot more and we're gonna get into it. So Sony had their cameras, their lens lineup, and as well as a booth to show, you know, different ways to shoot models, which other brands had different models that you can shoot as well. Nikon also had their camera lineup there. I was able to utilize and touch the Z6 III for the first time, and I must say, from what I was able to test while I was there, the autofocus has gotten a lot better since the Z6 II. But as well, Nikon had presentations on how to color grade within DaVinci. I don't use DaVinci, but it was good to see how other editors color grade their footage using their red LUTs and their N-Log and N-RAW. So, you know, learning from industry pros was very good. Canon also had their cameras and lenses out, and I was able to touch the R1. And I have never touched Canon cameras, and they had other cameras there. They had the R5 Mark II, R5, R6 Mark II, and all that kind of fun jazz. But I look like a kid that did not know what to do with any of this, because I've never touched a Canon camera. So trying to figure out settings and stuff like that in different modes, I was lost. But being able to utilize or just check out the autofocus of the R1 was insane. I was able to also try out the R5 Mark II. Moving on now to Fuji. Fuji had a huge selection of lineup and lens lineups that, like I've mentioned before, they also had their own booth that you can take photos in. DJI had their Ronin 4D drones. They had a gate that I guess they have at every other event that they have, just utilizing just in the cage where you can fly the drones and test it out. They were showcasing their pocket cameras, so they have the DJI Mic 3, which I have, but it's unfortunately charging, and as well as like their mics. So fun and amazing, and I enjoyed it. They had Leica there, which I stayed away from because I will never be able to afford it. Red cameras, they were there. Again, I didn't stay in that area because it's, first off, looking at those cameras, it's more like a computer. I did not know how to turn it on or utilize it. OM System and Panasonic. That was the camera brands that were there. I think there could have been more, but I've named out a lot. But for all intents and purposes, I apologize if I missed anybody. Now, the lens manufacturers, you had Vespid, they make a cinema glass, as well they make APS-C, full frame, and then they also make anamorphic lenses, which I've tested out, and I tested out on a Red camera, which I had somebody help me with, obviously. I can't really think off the top of my head, and these are just lens manufacturers, by the way, not the camera manufacturers that make lenses for their cameras. But Sigma had all their lenses, and they also had an area where they had a model and you can take pictures of their models while they were there. Plus they had presentations on how to take portraits. Tamron as well had all their lenses, and then they had again a little area where you can shoot models and test out their lenses there. Laowa was there as well. I didn't stay there too long, but they were there. Viltrox, I didn't stay there too long, and then all the other companies and stuff like that. But you know what? It was a really good experience. just seeing that and taking advantage of shooting models, because I've never done that. And it's so much easier to take photos of people who know how to pose and just move in different positions that you don't have to talk about or tell them to do, because they've done it for so long and they know what they're doing to begin with. Who else was there? So you had Sennheiser, Hollyland was there. For lighting, you had Godox, Profoto, Westcott, also Small Rig, Animos, Peak Design, Manfrotto, this new company I never heard of was PegTech, and as well Newer, which is a brand that I'm a huge proponent of because they're one, more affordable, and the quality of their stuff is very good. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Newer, highly recommend them. So that was a lot of the companies that were there. I also saw a bunch of YouTubers, especially the Canadian content creators. Unfortunately, my social anxiety did prevent me on going up to them and asking for photos, except for Dunna Did It, because he was just so happened to be walking by himself, and I asked. But he was there, Gerald Undone, Mark Bennett, Anthony Godlita, sorry if I butchered your name. I forget it, I don't know his real name, but original filmmaker, the guy who does all the rumors, great person. Stefano Lombardo, as well as Justin Porter. It was really cool to see them in person, especially because I do watch them on YouTube all the time. But yeah, so that was my experience at Profusion 2024. I had an amazing time. I stayed for at least, I don't know, 8 hours or so, just going around in circles, just enjoying everything that was there. Testing out kit that I've never tried before, testing out camera brands that I've never tried out before. I came out of there with zero money spent because, yeah, even when prices are really good at shows, it's still expensive, which keeps me away from it, which is awesome. All right, that's the end of this video. That's how I'm gonna end it. Nothing else, really. Until next time, guys, my name's Sean. Peace.